If you are a current National Basketball Association player, currently employed, currently either employed by a team to be in management or employed by a team to put on shorts, tube socks, and a tight undershirt every day, 82 times, I would like to formulate the following rule. Do not talk about gambling during a podcast. Is it that hard? We already know DraftKings is a sponsor, very good partner. We know my view that DraftKings, the existence of DraftKings, actually helps the integrity of the game, doesn't hurt, and I've proven that time and time again. With the actions of DraftKings, with the actions of the NBA and the different leagues, with how they're better able to find nefarious activity because everything now is public and above board and the technology is fantastic. But here's what the NBA and DraftKings and David Samson cannot control. And believe me, those are three entities, two entities in a person, three men in an entity who like control. We cannot control when people like Michael Porter Jr. decide to go on a podcast and decide, you know what I think I'm going to do? Notwithstanding the fact that his brother, Jonte Porter, was banned from the NBA for a gambling scandal, notwithstanding that, we would like to tell you that we can't control when Michael Porter gets a microphone, puts the green button on, looks at the co-host and says, listen, think about it. If you can get all your homies rich by telling them, yo, bet $10,000 on my under. This one game, I'm going to act like I got an injury. I'm sit out. I'm going to come out after 3 minutes. And they all get a little bag because you did it one game. Yikes. Now, Porter said after that, that is so not okay. But some people probably think like that. They come from nothing and all their homies have nothing. Let's take a minute here, please, before I lose my mind, which I'm feeling like I want to. Because when you meet the media or you're on a podcast, whether there's one person listening, and you know this, or a million people listening, it makes no difference. Because when you put something out there, there's a chance that only one person was listening, but then after that, a million people will listen. There's a chance when you talk that if a million people are listening, that it'll be so bad that the total number of people who will always listen and never listen to what you said is a million people. All of those things are possible. So if you're Michael Porter, you can't say to yourself, this was a little podcast, big podcast. You can't. Because when you talk about gambling, it's going to get picked up, especially given what your last name is. And when you start the conversation by saying, hey, think about it. It's super easy to do this and give a bag to my homies. It doesn't matter that you follow that up by saying, oh, but I wouldn't do that. It's bad. Because here's a little hint for all of you, and no matter what business you're in, no matter what relationship you're in, it's never a good argument, even lawyers, for anybody, where you say X, Y, and Z, so illegal. You can't do it. You'll be punished. I wouldn't do it. There's certain things that you just don't talk about at all, even with the caveat of I wouldn't do it, or I don't do it, or I haven't done it, or I haven't seen it. Because why it is that you bring it up to start with does nothing to the listener but make them question the verity of what you said following. Everybody's looking at Michael Porter today and saying, you say that you wouldn't do it and you say it's not okay, but man, it sure as heck fire sounds like you would do it. It sounds like that'd be something that you'd like for your homies. Here's the thing. When you put something into the universe, sometimes it sticks. Michael Porter's going to have a problem. And the problem is that the NBA is paying attention here. To say nothing of the governor of Ohio. But the reason the NBA is paying attention is that this whole prop bet situation, this whole thing that happened in baseball with the Guardians who have made it through the rain and they have figured out a way to win games and obviously in baseball, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The fact is that leagues are paying attention. There are groups of people hired. Their whole job is to listen for things like this, of players saying things like what Porter said, investigating what things like Porter has said, and then figuring out if Porter is in any way involved with anyone who's made any penny on anything Michael Porter or anyone around Michael Porter's done. And I don't mean his brother. I mean him specifically. They're looking at game logs. They're paying attention to everything now to see, is there a chance? Did he ever hit an under? When he did hit an under, was there any activity? And they'll call DraftKings. They'll speak to the people in Vegas. Was there any sort of weird activity that you may have found? You're inviting it. Why? A, you shouldn't do it. But B, even if you're not doing it, which you may be doing, why invite the scrutiny? What's the upside? All of a sudden, that podcast, which I can't even remember the name of, is going to get more listeners, more platform? Forget it.